So Liangelo Ball has played another Summer League game, lads. Do I want to keep talking about this guy in general? I mean, when it gets views, it gets views. This guy is relevant. He's definitely relevant. And two, I like making videos about him because it's intriguing. Because again, I've watched this guy play quite a lot. I watched every game this guy played in Lithuania. I watched a lot of the clips of this guy playing in Geno Hills. I watched so much of this guy. I'm just saying, this is how seriously I took scouting these Ball brothers back in the day. I actually watched the JBA. I put myself through the torture of watching 10 players run up and down the floor and shoot within 4 seconds for 4 quarters. I watched those All-Star games. And then apparently they were going and playing the best teams from other countries. They were playing like third-tier teams from a lot of countries. Yeah, they played a decent team in the UK. But like again, as I will always say, the BBL is a tiny bit better than the league that I played in. And am I better than an average person who picks up a basketball? Probably. Am I a particularly good basketball player compared to pros? God, no. I would get destroyed. But the leagues, the BBL again, which was originally where Liangelo was meant to be, is only a tiny bit better than the level that I played at. But what I'm going to say is that he has proven everyone who said, and I was one of those, that he had no chance. He has proven all those doubters wrong. But let's be real, that's all he's proven in this Summer League. Can we now finally calm down on the whole Liangelo Ball is going to be an NBA star thing? Because if you take out that first game he played, Liangelo Ball shooting 23% from 3 in Summer League. Even with that game, he shot 37% from the field and 34% from 3. In Summer League. Like, where is the whole narrative? Like, for the Ball stands that he's suddenly going to be a top shooter in the NBA. I mean, he can shoot. He's going to be like a probably sub 40% three-point shooter if he goes to the NBA. But I mean, he can shoot a little bit. But like, he's not somebody, like I even said at the start, like he hasn't proven that he can shoot in the NBA. But like, off catch and shoot threes, if you guys don't know, some of the percentages off wide open catch and shoot threes are ridiculous for players. Like, I remember there was one year where Steph Curry in the playoffs shot like 90% from the left corner on catch and shoot threes. It was crazy. Liangelo Ball, almost every one of his shots has been a catch and shoot 3 and he's shooting 34%. So can we stop with the whole, he needs to be on an NBA roster as of right now, that he's already proven that he deserves a spot on an NBA roster, like for a regular season roster. I'm not talking about preseason roster. I'm not talking about training camp roster, because yes, he has proven that. Anyone who's, and then the opposite is obviously the case, but can we stop the whole Liangelo Ball is the best scorer of the balls, because he's not. He's the worst scorer of the balls. Can we stop the whole he's the best defender of the balls, because he's not. He's definitely nowhere close to Lonzo. And can we stop the whole he's going to make an impact right away on the Hornets, because he's not. He's also older than all the rookies that they got from the draft. But I'm saying this right now because I'm saying exactly what I said after the first game. Because one good game does not make a player an NBA player. One bad game does not mean a player sucks. Liangelo Ball, if you watched Liangelo Ball play 2-3 years ago, it's night and day. Like, if you watched him play in 2018, there was a 0% chance he was getting drafted. There was a 0% chance anyone who watched him play in 2018, when he declared for the draft, thought that he was ever going to even be this good at the game of basketball. Liangelo Ball has proven that he is a good professional basketball player. He could play in most countries in the world. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I don't know. He's definitely making more money, just not. He would make more money on YouTube videos of his workouts trying to make the NBA than he would going to most leagues in Europe. You don't understand how small the money is. And he probably wouldn't make an ACB team or a EuroLeague team because they all have rules about imports. They all have rules about non-European players on their teams. And he's probably not good enough as an individual shot creator and scorer to be an import. But, man, Liangelo deserves a chance at the next level. And what the next level is from Summer League is training camp. He deserves to go through a training camp with NBA players. He deserves to get a run out in preseason. He deserves some minutes in preseason. And you know what? He deserves to be on a G League team. Because I genuinely think that that's the level that he can play at. I think he could play. He could survive in the G League. But again, if you asked me a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have laughed at the thought of liangelo Ball being a meaningful player at the G League level. And again, if you're saying, oh, I'm just a hater, I don't believe in him, I watched the JBA and every single game in Lithuania. Like, he was not bad in Lithuania. He shot 40% from three. His team lost every single game with him. Let's not forget that they lost every game. So, it's one of those situations where it's like, he's way better than anyone thought he was going to be. And I've got to give props to him. I've got to give props to Liangelo that he has improved tremendously. And not only that, he's improved tremendously in the things that you wouldn't expect. Like, defense is not something you would expect to improve by just doing workouts with a trainer. That is not something you would expect to improve, but it has. He's not a good defender by any means. And I hate the comparison to people saying he could be better PJ Tucker. One, he doesn't shoot the ball as well as PJ Tucker. Two, he's not as strong as PJ Tucker. He will never be as strong as PJ Tucker. Three, he's not as tough as PJ Tucker. No person that had as sheltered an upbringing as liangelo Ball had will ever have the toughness of PJ Tucker. There's a reason why guys like him are built like they are. PJ Tucker is one tough player. The fact that, again, he had to fight for everything. Him and Patrick Beverley having to fight for everything over in Europe. They were in the NBA, they were out of the NBA, they were having to play in Europe to try and get back into the league. And as soon as they got that, they grasped it with everything. Like, the fact that, again, if you're looking at those guys, I can't really remember what country PJ Tucker went to, but like Patrick Beverley, these guys are going to countries where they don't even speak the language. They're going to countries where they do not even speak the language. With almost no support system. Again, he went to Israel for a year. Then he went to Donetsk. He went to Ukraine for 2 years. Then played back in Israel. And then in Greece. And then Montenegro. And then after he was in Montenegro, he played in Puerto Rico for a while. And then actually played for Bamberg in Germany, which actually one of my former teammates actually ended up playing for Bamberg in Germany at one stage. Obviously, a lot more recently than PJ Tucker. But like, that's that type of a hunger you can't teach. So that's why I hate the comparison, people comparing to PJ Tucker. Because PJ, like, he's not wired the same as PJ Tucker. But he's not a terrible defender. It'll be interesting to see who he can guard at the NBA level. Because he's a somewhat versatile defender. If he gets switched onto a big, he seems to be alright. And I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued to see how he gets on in preseason. I want to see him playing against legitimate NBA players. I want to see him how he plays in a role, or if he can figure out a role. Because you better believe, if there is any chance of him surviving at the NBA level, he's making the roster, or at least on a two-way contract. Because he's got buzz. There's a reason why people are watching this video. There's a reason why I'm making this video, because people want to watch it. There's a reason why I'm talking about a player. Like, there is no other player who could average like 9 points a game on terrible shooting through Summer League and people still talking about them other than liangelo Ball, because it's intriguing. It's an intriguing story. Everything the Ball brothers has done has been intriguing. But can we calm down on him? Can we calm down? because it's not going to do him any good. All of the ball stands complaining, to tweeting at the Charlotte Hornets, saying liangelo needs to play, he needs more touches. He's not, like, he may not, that's a hassle, that's a stress. Again, not all publicity is good publicity. There's a reason why not every team was that high on getting Alonso Ball at the time. Obviously, since then it's huge, but the ball stands are they're a tricky bunch. They're a tricky bunch. So can we calm down saying he's guaranteed a roster spot? Can we calm down saying he's proven that he should be in the NBA? Because he hasn't. He most definitely has not. But can we also calm down the people that watched his game against Chicago and are trying to say, and I told you so, he doesn't belong in the NBA? Because that's a bad game. The people that are saying, I told you so, he does not belong in the NBA after that one bad game, are equally as bad as the people that said he's going to be a better Duncan Robinson after his one good game. Equally as bad. Because you have to take it as a whole. As a whole in Summer League, he showed flashes of stuff that can translate to the next level. But all in all, played not particularly well. He didn't play particularly well, but he showed enough flashes that he deserves to... He doesn't deserve a chance at the NBA level, but he deserves a chance to earn a chance. He deserves a spot on the preseason roster. And that's his chance to get his chance. Playing against better competition than this. If you understand what I mean. And it's exactly what I said after the first game. It's exactly what I said the last game. Nothing has changed with liangelo. Except for the fact that he's kind of come back down to earth. He has played one good game, but he's a highlight factory. And I gotta talk about this because I'm seeing liangelo slander. I'm seeing liangelo slander. And he deserves zero slander. He has not said one, like, and I mean like actual slander, like calling him a bum, bringing up the China incident. He deserves zero because you know what? He isn't taking ill-advised shots. He's taking shots within the flow of an offense. He's trying to play defense. All he said was he feels like he didn't play that well in Summer League, which is true. And that he hopes that he can show, or that thinks he's shown he can belong in the NBA, which if you're liangelo, of course you would think like that. He has done nothing wrong. So can we stop the slander? Like, there are criticisms for his game. And it's not that he doesn't do a lot well at the NBA level. He's still a high level pro, and he is still a hell of a lot better than he was at 19-20. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Is this really going anywhere? No. But all I'm going to say is, if you were in the camp of people that were hyping this guy up as saying he's going to be better PJ Tucker or freaking Clay with higher IQ or better Duncan Robinson, you're crazy. And hopefully this has brought you guys down to earth a little bit. But if you're also in the opposite standpoint and you were waiting for liangelo to have a bad game to say this is proof that he doesn't belong in the NBA, you're equally as wrong. Because one good game does not make a player. One bad game does not make a player. I know basketball media wants to make one game define an entire player's legacy, an entire player's career, but it doesn't. It doesn't. He had a not great Summer League, but showed enough flashes that he deserves at least another chance to give himself a chance. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comment section whether or not you guys think he's going to make the NBA. I personally think he will play some minutes this season, but will not make the Charlotte Hornets rotation. I do not think that he's going, as a prediction, I do not think he's going to make an NBA rotation. And again, just like any sort of negative prediction, I hope I'm wrong. I would gladly be proven wrong. I did not think LaMelo Ball was going to be this good. And the fact he's so fun to watch, I'm gladly proven wrong with that. making these predictions, you're going to be right sometimes, i.e. Luka Doncic, you're going to be wrong sometimes, i.e. LaMelo. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's what happens when you talk about a sport. You're going to be right sometimes, you're going to be wrong sometimes. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.